What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into EnglishTurks, where I review your favorite Turkish series with and without English subtitles. And today I want to talk to you about Çocuk. Now, Çocuk is just this episode that the series that has just come out. We just watched the second episode of this show. And I kind of did a summary in a video before that. I'll link it in the description. But right now I want to talk to you guys about episode number 2. So if you watch any of my other videos, like today, I'm really shooting out a lot of videos from a lot of the different Turkish series that are out. And so if you see me with the same background, same hair, same makeup, it's because I'm doing everything in one day. All right, so hopefully you guys had a great week watching all these different series. And Çocuk is just this new one that has been added to the pile that I think is very interesting and has a very great different dynamic, which is centered around this little boy. And basically we enter into this episode where, and again, excuse me because I'm horrible with names. So if I refer to the characters, I'm just referring to the characters. I might not call them by name because I am horrible with names, okay? So this little boy's biological mother has now moved into the house with them because basically she is trying to hide away from her baby daddy, and her baby daddy is trying to get her back but can't necessarily enter into the mansion or whatever. So she's really struggling with what she should do because her being in that mansion is putting the family at risk. So she goes to the house to try to seek asylum, I would say. Ends up getting hurt by catching this boy as he falls from the roof, which we all know that his adoptive mother just let him drop off the roof. I mean, there's something wrong with this girl. There's something literally in my spirit that says that something's wrong with this girl. Thank you, writers of the series, because you're doing a great job. Now, she basically is in the hospital. The little boy's dad, or adoptive dad, he doesn't know that he's the adoptive father, he basically answers her phone, tells this guy where she is, and then she ends up finding out and they help her escape the hospital. Now now they end up going to the house, but nobody wants her there. The grandmother doesn't want her there. The wife doesn't want her there. The maid technically wanted her there in the beginning, but now is changing her mind because she's trying to get in good terms with the grandmother. So much is going on. Honestly, but the biggest thing about this episode was I understand where the grandma's coming from. She doesn't want this girl in her house because, one, she's an actual mother for this little kid, but also, two, it's going to bring her disruptive son closer to the house, and it makes it harder for her to keep things a secret, all the secrets that she is holding. But one of the scenes that really stood out to me was between the grandmother and the biological mother of this child. I'm referring to everybody this way because I don't remember their names. I'm watching all these series, and honestly, thank God I remember Shule's name. And if you guys don't know who Shule is, she's from Afiliash. She's the daughter-in-law in Afiliash. So you see, just remembering her name was hard enough. So I apologize for all you guys who like to hear the names, because I got to do better. I'll write them down next time so I know who to call what. But anyway, they have this conversation in the room. The grandmother takes the biological mother into her room, shows her the photo album, and she's like, look at all this stuff. You weren't there for him. It was his adoptive mother that was there for him. You were not there. So don't say she doesn't love him, because she loves him. And then she hits her with the firebomb. Okay, show me all the pictures from after she had her baby. And they were absolutely none. And I think that's an eye-opener. I don't understand why the grandmother is holding on so tight to this daughter-in-law. I don't get it. I understand that she was trying to keep the family together. I also understand that she could feel an obligation because she put the daughter-in-law in that position. She could have easily told her husband, maybe she lost a baby if that's what they were having. I think they were supposed to have a baby. She lost the baby, and then she ended up having another one. Taking this one to display. I'm not too sure, but if you know, let me know in the comments below. But I feel like there has to be an extra reason as to why she's holding on so tightly to this daughter-in-law. She's already confessed that she lost a child on purpose. I'm pretty sure she's going to confess that she dropped him from the roof eventually. Like, you can tell that this daughter-in-law does not, I mean, everybody recognizes it. Her other son recognizes it. I think her husband, both her sons recognize it, but I just think that, of course, one is more outspoken because that's not his wife, and the other one is more timid about saying what he truly feels because that is his wife. So he's in a difficult position, and also just being in such a situation, this daughter-in-law is using so much, like, she's really throwing out the sympathy cards so many times here that it's causing, I feel like the grandmother feels like it's my fault, but I also want to keep my grandson and stuff. So I think in order to keep her lies and her secrets and everything, she really wants to just keep the daughter-in-law close, because if the daughter-in-law gets divorced from her husband, she might just come out with the truth, and that would ruin her relationship with her son. So I think that's why she's fighting so much for the daughter-in-law. But honestly, she's really putting her grandson at so much risk, and it's her own fault. I mean, she created this web of lies. I understand she wanted to save her grandson, and I feel most people would probably do the same thing. But it's because of this that there's a lot of issues going on in the first place. And I do agree with the maid. I agree with the maid's husband, who I guess is a chauffeur. I agree with him because he's like, listen, what if it gets out that that's the real mom? What if it, like, you're putting us in such a compromising situation because we're also involved? And so there's so many things that could really go wrong in this situation. Now, when the biological mother sees that the adoptive mother is in the kitchen feeding her child from her breast, she knows that she's not taking any medicine. But what does she do? Instead of ratting out on this woman, which could probably work against her, she keeps it hidden and just says, hey, I need you guys to help me. You said you're going to protect me, and now this man is trying to come and get me, and he's going to come in this house to get me. And I think that was smart of her to do, because now she has the adoptive mother in her grasp. Now she can be like, hey, you put yourself in this situation, now you can't kick me out. You're going to let me protect my child while you protect your child. And I feel like that's an easy solution. Like, let that be it, you know? Let her take care of her child, you take care of your child. But she doesn't know that that's the biological mother. But watching the previews, she will ask the question, why does she treat this boy like it's her actual son? So I think that the adoptive mother is gonna learn that that is the child's biological mother, and there's gonna be something played into that. But I also feel like the adoptive dad, I feel like he and the biological mother are going to have a close connection in a way. I like the way that they put the men in the series, because really the most important guy in this entire series is the biological dad, and that the adoptive dad and the uncle, they're more like supporting roles, even though the adoptive dad has a more forthcoming role. Is still a supporting role, because the focus is really on the women. They're not really playing into, there's not really much of a love story here, but you could tell that there's something going to happen between the adoptive dad and the biological mother. There's something that's going to happen there, because you can just sense it, and I feel like the adoptive mother also senses it. She's trying to keep her husband, but it's just hard. She's not really getting anywhere with this. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments, because I think the next episode, there's going to be a challenge. There's going to be something happening with, I don't think too much is going to take place with him trying to get her out of the house. I don't think too much is going to take place, but I do think that they need to take into consideration the fact that this boy was able to get a note without anybody knowing. So they need to put that in consideration, because now this little boy's life is in some serious danger, in some really serious danger, if this man can gain access to this little boy and them not even know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think this is an amazing show, and I think it's going to go really well, especially since it's not your typical Turkish love story. and it's really just from a different perspective, and that there is still that female rivalry, which is all the Turkish series. There's always some kind of female rivalry, but it's really completely different. It's just different. It's not a love story. That's what I love about this show, which is like a little bit of a breath of fresh air compared to all the other shows, even though I love all the other shows. But to watch something that's just a little bit different, but still just that intensity is still there, I love it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Hey guys, don't forget to comment below, share this video, and if you want to see more, subscribe.